Hey folks, Joko here, that's me, from IELTStemple.blogspot.com. And I am here today to talk about an essay written by a gentleman who had just received his IELTS score when I noticed that he had a rather unusual score. I hadn't seen something this extreme in a while. Band 9 in reading and in listening. So I know that I don't have to grade my speech when I give him feedback. And I'm addressing him as if he's instead of you, because I hope that there's some things in this video that everyone who's studying the IELTS can learn from, and particularly those who have higher abilities in some of the other skills, but your writing scores are very low. I'm going to give you some advice that may be the opposite of what other experts have told you. In so doing, I hope that you'll be able to take a fresh approach that might get you out of that stuck in 6.5 land. So let's see what our Band 9 reader and listener had to say. Now, of course, this is not the essay that he wrote for the IELTS. In fact, he had only put 2 essays on the Facebook IELTS tips and tricks page, the big one. 150,000 members, and kind of stuck this up here back in March, and he put another one up in April, but was very modest and didn't tag any of the mentors, and it didn't get noticed. And if you're going to post on the page, please, the squeaky wheel gets the grease, as they say. You'll need to squeak up a little bit. IELTS is an important time. It's no time to be shy or modest or respectful of other people. I don't mind being tagged. Okay, so our question is, before we do that, let's look at the marking criteria. For those who've seen my videos before, you recognize these are the 4 band descriptors. Pink is, do you answer the question? Blue is coherence and cohesion. Do you connect your ideas using appropriate words? And does your essay have a flow to it? Do you feel like you're on a voyage, so to speak? Lexical is vocabulary. I have high hopes there. And grammar. Now, grammar is not just sentence structures and complex sentences. It's about being error-free. And errors include things like punctuation. Capitalization of letters in words is an aspect of punctuation. Thank you, Safwan, who told me that today. I didn't know how to I know when a word is miscapitalized, but I don't know what category it is. Now I do, and we'll see that here. I underlined a couple words because immediately I was impressed with the Lexis. This is topic specific, congested roads and polluted air. Oh wait, before we do that, forgot to analyze the question. Yes. Which is here. Okay, might be a bit small on your screen, so let's blow it up a little bit. Yeah. Okay, increasing the price of petrol. Why is petrol capitalized? Well, anyway, is the best way to solve the growing traffic and pollution problems. One of the best way videos. This is sort of a type of question in and of itself, best way. And that's really important that you recognize when it says best way. That's the question. To what extent do you agree that this is the best way, or disagree that this is not the best way? It might be a way, but is it the best way? That's what we're thinking of here. What other measures do you think might be effective? Some people might squawk and say, wait a minute, I don't believe that the first measure is effective. What do you mean other measurement? Oh, sit down. We know what it means. Even if the first one is effective or not, there are other measures. Argue that they are effective. Not the most, but effective. Okay, good Lexis to start. There are common sites in many cities around the world. Now, in the past, I have expressed my opposition to topic sentences, general topic sentences that introduce the topic in general. I've eased my stance on that a little bit. This one doesn't say something like, traffic and pollution are becoming and are the most serious issues faced by our world today. It says they are, tries to use some uncommon vocabulary, but if you're going to use a plural noun and you're talking in general, you don't use the. This is an article rule that everyone needs to keep in mind, because even the best writers have article problems that can, well, I can't say that easily. Why would they still be here if they were so easy to get rid of? But no. And I think that might even be better with R or yeah, common sight. Most of the cities. Oh, okay, around the world. Oh, I left all. I had these orange. What's that? The orange. Orange is where I put language that was too formulaic, meaning that this writer has read lots of articles telling you this is how to start your essay, this is how you structure it. I've seen videos that's just giving you very specific phrases to use, and I believe that those videos and people who need them are those who are at a 5 and 6 sort of general English level and need some crutches to help them along. I do believe that these structures are effective for people who need to improve on the score that they would naturally get. Now, I think that this person is evident in getting a 9 in reading and listening. You must have a high level of English if you're going to get that. Anyway, it just requires different skills to allow that language to emerge. And I don't think that a strict structure is the way to do it. So many people believe, okay, that increasing fuel price, okay, prices, not price, or the fuel, no, prices, will solve above problems. No, don't use above. In my opinion, I know I won't bother explaining why. Okay, once again, in my opinion, this is a very generic phrase. You can do better than that. You don't have to say, in my opinion. Okay, you can just say, this is a short-sighted solution. Good. There's some good vocabulary. Now, I expect you to base your argument on that. And you don't need to say, I disagree with it either. Why would you agree with a short-sighted solution? This essay shall. Okay, now this here is called what is it? Outline sentence? Yeah, I think. Yeah. Anyway, what it's supposed to do is let the reader know what they're about to read. It also helps with lower level English students constrain themselves. Okay? Because I'm going to tell myself as well. I don't think it's that useful for higher levels. But if you are going to use one, please remember or try to do this. Give the reader a chronology, the order. Okay? This essay will first discuss the reasoning behind my. We'll discuss not my reasoning behind my stand. That's so generic. Reasoning behind my stand. Well, what's your stand? You have to. Okay, you need to mention what you're talking about. Paraphrase your own point. This essay will explain the lack of long-term vision that are represented by increasing fuel. Explain your point. This could be used in any essay, and therefore it is of little value. To begin with, a lot of people hate this. I don't think it's so bad. Here's an interesting thing. I'm seeing this. Maybe I'm just noticing it more, but you do this quite a bit. After the clause, which starts a sentence, in this case, a connecting phrase, you put a capital. No big deal, right? Well, it's wrong, and it counts as a grammar error, just as much as any other grammar error counts against your creation of error-free sentences. What's that? Yes, if you create sentences that have no mistakes, your grammar score will go up significantly. Misspelling. I think I'm dwelling too much on the individual words here. Attribute is when you say that something else is responsible for something. Anyway, attributed to, not due to. You could say the traffic problem is due to or attributed to. Still not the best choice, but not both. Improper parking spaces. Okay, now you were tasked to talk about whether or not increasing the price of fuel would cause people to drive less, right? That's what they're saying, that raising the cost of fuel will take cars off the road because people can't afford or won't want to pay the extra costs. What does that have to do with parking? Well, I guess I'll find out. In Delhi, capitalized D, we want to keep it impersonal in an academic essay. There are not enough, or there are not adequate. That's good, okay? Parking spots. Due to this, comma, most vehicles are parked. This one here, side, alongside the roadsides. The sides of the road are called the roadsides. So you don't need along, you can just say along the roadsides. Which, now careful with that, it'll take me a while to explain, but a lot of people use which to connect to let me put it this way. Which is most commonly used in a defining or non-defining relative clause, which means that we're going to talk about the roadsides. No, but instead we're talking about the problem before. I would avoid which here because it can be confusing sometimes. Along the roadsides, comma, leaving less space for movement, not the movement, or movement is not the right word. Cars don't have movement. Leaving less space for automobiles on the roads. This then increases the traffic. Okay, sentence structure. Look at this one. In Delhi, starts here. In Delhi, we don't have due to this park alongside the roadside, which eventually of automobile on the roads. Hence, got like 5 clauses and 4 connectors in one sentence. Whoa there! Yes, complex sentences are good. 2 sentences that are too complex are painful to read. Facing the full time. Okay. So this should have been your topic sentence. And actually, I suppose you could say it is a topic sentence, but it's not going to be labeled as a clear topic sentence because of its position. You can put a topic sentence anywhere in a paragraph, but you have to be a really good writer to do it effectively. Otherwise, it just leads to meandering off-topic paragraphs. Okay, so that was your first idea. An odd idea, but that's okay. You can have odd ideas. We use this phrase speaking about, and actually we don't much in academic English, but you use it to say, to continue something that you've already been talking about. Here, we're not talking about pollution. So, again, there's the M, there's the large capital letter, misspelling. Cars are more efficient and they produce very less residue. Very little emissions, or very few emissions, or very little pollution. Now, the connector, in addition, don't believe that you need to have a connector between every sentence. No, that's a trap that a lot of writers who are paying too much attention to structure fall into, because you end up using them incorrectly. In addition is like and. It is to bring up a new point. Okay? But you're not really doing that. You're saying that they're very efficient and they're certified as non-polluting. Well, that's sort of the same thing, isn't it? Comma there. Regular inspection by pollution-controlled agencies. That just doesn't flow. So, targeting vehicles. Why did I put that as blue? So targeting vehicles to curb pollution. How are we targeting them? You don't mention anything about raising the price of gas. Just targeting them. You have to express the topic. And remember also, the topic here is it the best way? Best. It can be effective. You don't have to say they won't be effective. You can just say they won't be as effective as people hope. And this is a good reason. You just kind of handle it kind of awkwardly. Okay, well, my cat's at the door. Hang on. Come in. Say hello, kitty. Okay. All right, so yeah, we'll have no significant impact. That's a good phrase there, on the pollution problem. Okay, what about traffic? All right. To tackle the pollution and traffic problem, is it one problem? I guess it could be considered one problem. How are they connected? The traffic, cars create the pollution. All right. Capital, after a comma. Governments should invest in parking facilities. Why? I put this here. There's no support of this. And again, a connector where there shouldn't be one. This is the topic sentence. More parking. And then explain how more parking will reduce traffic and ease pollution. But no, you make another solution. Okay, you must prove you have a parking spot. Understood? To curb pollution, comma, strict norms on the engine, just one, on engines, should be applied. Wait a minute. What about these pollution control agencies? Oops. It seems to me that in the previous paragraph you said that's already happening. You could say it should be continued or increased, such as, I think, such as should be used in the middle of a sentence. Only allow. Absolutely no idea what this means, and it's not. You can't use Euro 6. What? And cars don't run; they drive on the roads. Another step can be, and once again, you've got a bunch of solutions. You should find one. Don't worry about where it says what other measures. Okay? You can just pick one. This essay is requiring you to do a lot already. You can just take one measure and say this is the way to do it. In conclusion, hiking fuel price. Google, nouns together. I don't know what's the best way to do it. How to combine nouns. Okay, fuel prices is an effective combination, but they need to go together. Hiking fuel is not a solution. That's not what the question asked. The question asked, is it the best solution? You must analyze the question and answer that question. Tackle is fine, but you used it here, and I already used it. Pollution and traffic. As vehicles, parked vehicles already will add up to already congested roads. Well, what they'll do is they'll add to the congestion on the roads. The government, which one? Should invest more on parking. You're repeating your same language. You need to rephrase yourself. Okay. Now, overall, this I would give this. There are no supported arguments in here. Does this qualify as? This might be considered poorly supported, but you do not address the task, which is best way. Is it the best way? And therefore your task achievement, which is usually what pulls people down would be in the 5 to 6 range. Grammar could be very high if it weren't for the little mistakes. For example, where was the one I was thinking about or seeing earlier? Yeah, like this first sentence here. To tackle the pollution and traffic problem, yeah, again, that's one word. Problems would probably work better. That's not really a grammar error. This here, government should invest more or in, but that's a lexical thing. See that? That's an error-free sentence. To provide food. Yeah, that would be an error-free sentence too. But you muck it up by putting those capital letters there where they don't belong. It's not an error-free sentence anymore. So 7 max, 6 max. So you got a couple of 6s, and you wonder why you get a 6.5. Okay, my suggestion is, got 21 minutes. Oh well. What you want to do is write more naturally. Forget what Liz says and what Jay says and what Chris says and what Simon says. Simon says, actually Simon's pretty good. He's very natural in his writing. And invest the time that you would otherwise be looking at how to fit your thoughts into a box that you've already created. Spend that time coming up with better ideas. Actually, ideas are kind of poor, but that doesn't matter. Spend that time analyzing what you've written to look for, is this sentence too long? Have I missed any articles? And of course, I hope after this video you will never ever begin the main clause in a sentence after a comma with a capital letter. Should I present it in this essay? Well, let's see. No. This is the model essay that I wrote, and I think I'll just put this on my website, which again is ilstemple.blogspot.com. Thanks for watching and listening. You can leave a comment at that blog or here at YouTube or on Facebook. I am at, there it is, IELTS Temple. Good luck to you, sir, and be sure you come back and post some more essays, see how you're improving.